It's kind of a lighter day. Not many guys throwing, but the work has been really good. I've been impressed with the way the pitchers and the hitters are kind of getting after it. In the live BP setting. So gone are the years of guys kind of easing into it. I feel like guys' stuff is kind of where it should be, and the swings are, they have some intent and kind of competing, throughout the at bats too. So that part is good. The rest of it, you're kind of getting through day two, making sure you're healthy.
This facility is state of the art. Can you talk about any competitive advantage you think you get from this place?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I think that we have more and more guys getting down here in the off season, but anything that you need is here, from strength and conditioning, recovery, biomech stuff. I mean, I feel like this was kind of the standard even just a few years ago, and I think teams are kind of following suit. So it's something that we targeted as a definite competitive advantage, especially in our division. And the Blue Jays, they never say no when you make a request to add something. So it's definitely a place we love.
John George obviously had one hell of a year last year. It's a hard one to replicate. Do you think he can do it?
Absolutely. I think that things happen at different parts of guys' careers. His track record speaks for itself, but I think understanding where he is with his swing and where he is with his body right now, man, I wouldn't put anything past George. And to see what he did last year is, kind of evidence of that. So I don't know what year this is for him in terms of spring trainings, but he's here and enthusiastic, and he looks great. So it'll be a slow build up, for the season, but I think that he's more than capable. Yeah.
Talking about Okamoto, I'm from Japan. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Hi. What do you think about him? What's your impression? How he's been doing so far?
I think his work has been very serious and somewhat manly, as he said the other day. He's been great. I think just getting to know him, really, you can see the tools right away. You could see the swing. You could see the bat speed. You can see his, just talking to him and his game IQ, So there's going to be some adjustments. We know that with pitch clock and pitch calm, all that kind of stuff. When, ABS challenge is going to be new for everyone. But what I've seen is he's a really funny guy. And I think he's going to fit in with this group really well. And we're just trying to make him as comfortable as possible and make sure he's getting everything he needs to get ready for the season. And this group is cool because they have a very good knack of accepting guys when they're new and really making them feel comfortable. So far, so good.
Thank you.
Johnny Erkenlauer obviously had a really good year for you guys last year. What was the message for him kind of coming into camp with kind of his role a little bit uncertain?
We're going to stretch him out as a starter, and have that length available if needed. But he's, I think, obviously a different spot than what he was last year in camp with the season he had last year. So he's ready to help us in any way that we need, really. The old thing, you never have enough pitching, and he showed that he can do that regularly last year as a starter. So that's going to be the goal, and wherever we end up at the end of camp in terms of health and performance, we'll make that call. But he was just as valuable as anyone last year when we had some holes in the rotation, and he stepped right in and didn't miss a beat.
He obviously has a strong desire to start.
Yeah.
That's kind of his background. Was it difficult to have the conversation with him where you can't just be like, after the year you had, you're definitely locked in? Because, you guys obviously have a crowded rotation. What was that conversation like?
Well, it was a little bit familiar because of, last year at the deadline, going to a six-man rotation, and I think he gets it. We know that he can start, and the industry knows he can start. So it's a valuable thing. It's not the best thing to hear for a guy that has been a starter, but I think he understands when you look around and you look at who we've acquired and who we have. He kind of understands it, and with the team that he's on and the team that's trying to win a World Series. So the good thing is he's ready to do anything, willing to do anything. But if the need for the length is there and to start every fifth day, he'll be ready for that, and we trust him to do it.
Will it be harder for him this year to kind of maintain some of that endurance if he's not, last year he started in the minors,
Sure.
So he had a little bit more of a runway there. How much of a challenge do you think that's going to be for him?
I don't think much early. I think you got to just see where spring takes you and then kind of go from there. And if it is, to the point to where he is a little bit shorter at first, we're going to do everything we can to kind of keep that length built in. And he's shown that he can be pretty versatile. I think even last year, didn't pitch for a few days in the World Series and ended up throwing 75 pitches in a game, So we'll monitor it for sure and just make sure that he gets what he needs to be up to 75, 90 pitches by the end of camp.
What are your spring training traditions, here or off campus?
Oof, we got to turn the cameras off. It's the same every year, really. It's I don't really have that many traditions. I feel like I've been coming to this area here, either here or over there, for the last 25 years. So it's been just kind of normal for me. You know, I think the biggest one is just getting to see everybody that you haven't seen in the off season. But nothing really stands out. You know, it's a fun place to come. You know, I met my wife over at the other complex back in 2012, so that kind of stands out every time I drive by that building. But other than that, man, it's just like coming to work and getting to hang around the guys.